Hey, I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm doing some winter orchid care, and I thought I'd share some information that I've learned over the years and research that I've done, because I still see a lot of bad information out there about what makes a good foliar spray, um, what foliar sprays are effective. Um, Today I'm going to make a biofungicide plant cleaner. So it's going to have multiple effects, but I just think in the winter right now it's good to sort of knock back any potential disease problems, get rid of salt deposits, clean the leaves. I like really clean leaves. It's just a thing that I like because I think that when plants have green, healthy leaves that don't have debris on them, they can photosynthesize better. But let's get into it, and I'll keep explaining as I go. So, if you want to make a good foliar spray, the number one thing you have to pay attention to is water quality. Less than 50 parts per million total dissolved solids. Pure water, filtered rainwater is the best. Um, you don't, none of these things are going to absorb well onto the leaf surface or perform as well if you have salts in there. That's just a fact. It's just the best way to do it. I think a lot of people fail with their foliar sprays because their tap water is like 200 ppm or higher, or they have a ton of salt in it, or they have a ton of carbonates in it. You don't want those. They're not going to help with nutrient absorption and biomolecule absorption on the leaf surface. They're going to hinder it. The other thing that there's a lot of bad information about is that either people don't use a wetting agent, which basically renders any foliar spray like borderline ineffective, or they like just use dish soap. I have a slight thing on dish soap, but I'll get to that once I talk about uh, wetting agents that definitely work. So the number one wetting agent that I would use, because it's been proven over decades of research to be a great basic wetting agent. Um, if you look at research on agronomy research, uh, biostimulant research, anything like that, tween 20 is safe as a wetting agent, a spreader. It is non-ionic, so that means that its surfactant qualities don't change with pH and salts, and it has minimal phytotoxicity. The other one that I like to use are saponins. So you can get a product that's yucca saponin, which is a saponin from yucca. It's called Thermex 70. You can get Quiaha, which I like because it has some other beneficial properties, and it seems to be a really good wetting agent without disrupting the leaf surface quality too much. And that's exactly why I don't like dish soap. It's just a little bit too harsh, and because it's not a non-ionic surfactant, you really have to know what you're doing in order, not saying that people don't have success with it, you just have to know what you're doing to make sure that it works well for you. But I find that it's a pretty harsh surfactant on the leaf surface, and it strips some of the protective coating off. It's really good for killing bugs, but again, there's a lot more room for error if you're going to use dish soap, and I just wouldn't recommend it as sort of like a beneficial health promoting surfactant, or I wouldn't include it in a mixture where I'm trying to promote the health of my plants, I would use it as a last resort against bugs. The other one people like to use is like Dr. Bronner's, and again, that can work well. You just have to really pay attention to these keys. pH is going to be more important. The purity of your water is going to be more important. And it's easier to cause phytotoxicity. So that's why I stay with these wetting agents. And then the other thing is, like, these sprays work best when all of the ingredients have synergy. So one thing is, like, let's say you have in this case, microbes you want to spray. It also can be beneficial to give those microbes a little bit of food, or supply an organic product like amino acids, which will feed the microbes and the plant. And then you'll get better efficacy. The other thing would be similarly like an amino acid plus an insecticide, or like a pest control spray. Because sometimes you have to get your pest control component concentration up there if you're dealing with a big outbreak, and you're always going to be riding the line between making your plant unhappy, and so you can kind of pick the plant back up by applying a plant food with it. In this case, I'm going to be making a foliar spray that's basically like a plant cleaner. It's inspired by Kyusei nature farming, which is a Japanese agricultural company movement that's responsible for the product EM1, if you're familiar with that. It's also inspired by Korean natural farming. Similar components or concepts, but it's going to be a Lactobacillus serum, which is a KNF input. I'll put information on how to make that. There's a lot of good videos, but it's basically whey, and it's got a really high concentration of beneficial lactobacillus and yeasts. The other thing that I'm going to put in is a raw apple cider vinegar, so it's going to have some microbes in it, but it's also going to have acetic acid, which is a precursor to plant hormones. It also improves the quality of the waxy cuticle, and it also will chelate and help remove salts that are built up in the media. And then I'm going to also add some soy amino acids. These are all the dilutions right here, and the soy amino acids are going to feed both the plant, and they're a really good food source to grow out the bacteria in the spray. And then as my wetting agent, I'm going to use Quillaja saponin. So yeah, let's get going. So because this Lactobacillus serum at 1 to 1,000 is roughly 4 mils per gallon, and it's super easy to just get. I kind of estimate, and I just use a teaspoon per gallon. And then apple cider vinegar, I'm going to use a half a tablespoon, and it's close enough. And then you can, and then I'm going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon for both the soy amino acids and the Quillaja saponins. So let me cut, and then I'll get all these ready. Alright, I don't have a tripod, so I couldn't mix all the ingredients with one hand. But this is a really cool foliar spray. It's gonna be sort of a semi-antibacterial, antifungal foliar spray. And like I said, the vinegar is also gonna help with some salts. Lactobacillus are really cool. They're super effective to use in your garden for preventing powdery mildew. The main key to using them with plants is using them very dilute, because they're a powerful microbe. yeah, they're a very powerful microbe and they can outcompete things and kind of throw off the balance. So you don't want to just be doing this like multiple times a week, maybe once a week max. It's also super useful for like clearing gross drains and getting rid of really bad smells. The bacteria will just eat everything up. And then you'll see in a second when I spray this how good of a wetting agent Quillaja is. And then this is just some microbe food. Again, like the vinegar, some of these amino acids are precursors to hormones and also really good microbe food. So we'll pour this in to my sprayer. And smells a little cheesy vinegar with the Lactobacillus way. And then the Quillaja kind of has a smell to it as well. Sorry. All right. So here's how you want to spray this. You just want to cover the leaf surfaces. Whoop. There we go. You're going to want to cover the leaf surfaces of your plants. And to the point of runoff, I'm just going to use this 2 gallons and just water my plants in with it. I like to turn my lights on low while I do this. But here, I'll show you what it looks like. And this is like, I mean, you can see, I really like my leaves nice and clean. It's not focusing. I don't know why it's not focusing. I don't like a lot of residue. I don't like salt buildup on my leaves. I like it when they have this sort of waxy bloom because that's a really good indicator of strong plant health. If they can make this kind of, you can rub it off slightly with your finger. If they can make that, plants only really make that when they're healthy and they have healthy transpiration. So here, I'll show you. Yeah, look at all my shiny, clean leaves. And then I just go in, coat all the leaves. Look at how good. So you don't, this is why you need a wetting agent, because you want to make sure that this coats and hydrates everything on the leaf. It's going to help get residue off. It's just going to help everything. So yeah, I just wanted to show some information about how I keep my orchid leaves clean and keep suppressed disease and molds using microbes and some other additives. So yeah, thanks for watching.